Hi lovelies! Welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Maria and today's video is going to be my monthly book haul. So just me going through all the books I bought in the last month, and as you can see I've got quite a stack to go through, and I do actually have a box on the floor that was a little bit big to put up here, but definitely plenty to go through for last month's book bang. So most of these are subscription boxes, one or two of them are special edition pre-orders and things like that, and one of them is actually something I got from the recent Illumicrate summer sale, which is a series that I've been trying to get my hands on for quite some time, but just couldn't bite the bullet on the price of it, even though I know I've bought probably more expensive books as well, but for some reason was just holding back on buying it, and I'm really glad I did because I ended up getting it at half price. So we'll go through all of that, I'll show you all of the books and go through them all with you, and without further ado, let's just get into the book haul. Okay, so this first one is a sequel to a book that I read quite recently, which was Phantasma, which is a book I didn't actually think I was going to enjoy. It had been kind of hailed as a spicy version of Caraval for adults. Now I do love Caraval, but the way the Phantasma was being described, I didn't think it was going to be for me because I thought it was just going to be all about the romance, and just for me it just didn't sound like it was going to be my type of book. But I'm really glad I decided to pick it up because it ended up being a really good read for me, and it definitely gave the Caraval vibes where we had this haunted house where basically you had to go in to do these trials. We had a main character whose sister was missing and she was doing the trials to try and get her sister back. Lo and behold, while she's there's obviously a mysterious man who she ends up falling for, and it just gave me all the best kind of almost spooky and gothic vibes with that little hint of whimsy that we would have got with the Caraval feel in there. So really glad I decided to pick it up because I did end up really loving it, and this is the second book where I believe we're following the sister within this book, so similar to that Caraval setup as well. Haven't read too much into the premise of this one, so I'm not too sure exactly what story we're going to be following, but I really loved the writing in the first one, really enjoyed the characters and the narrative, so I'll be really excited to pick this one up. And I think this would be a perfect read in the autumn time as well, just because of the gothic vibes that it gives, so hopefully I'll be able to pick this one up soon. And then next up I've got a book that I'm going to be completely honest, I was an absolute hater when the design for this one came out. I always really loved the original cover and wasn't really that enamoured when I seen the mock-ups of this one, but I'm really glad that I decided to give this one a go because in person, and I'm not even sure if the camera's going to pick it up, it's so pretty with the holographic writing, and I haven't said it's Quicksilver by Callie Hart, but the holographic writing on there is just really pretty, and then we've got these silver sprayed edges, and initially, as I say, I wasn't that enamoured by the design, but I actually think the simplicity of it in real life is really pretty, and I'll be excited to get the second one to match this one. And we do have some pretty end papers on this one as well, and I believe they're different on the back. And yeah, this is a Romantasy. Again, another one I wasn't too sure if I was going to enjoy. It was getting hyped on TikTok when it was an indie publication, and I'd had it on my Kindle for the whole time, but by the time I actually got around to reading it, it was traditionally published as well. So decided to finally read this one. I think it was in January this year, and again, it was just everything I love in Romantasy. It was fun, the characters had depth, we had enough world building in there to make the world feel rich, but it wasn't too dense that if you're new to fantasy or Romantasy or anything that you're not going to understand it. There were side characters that felt like full characters, they were adding the snark and the fun to it, so really loved this one. And even though I was a hater when this first came out, I do actually really like the design, and I think the second one's going to be really pretty as well because it's a bit more of an orange tone than this one, and it'll just be nice to have a matching set as well because unfortunately they're not going to make any covers like the original cover, but I feel like this is a series I'm going to really enjoy, so I would like to have a matching set, so decided to bite the bullet on this one, and as I say, really glad I did because in person it's actually really pretty. Next up is one of my most highly anticipated books of this year, and that's Catabasis by R.F. Kuang, or Catabasis, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but this is basically a dark academia story where we have two rival students who end up going on a journey through hell to try and get their professor's soul back. And I actually just finished reading this one this morning and I really loved it. I ended up rating a 4.5 stars. If you love true dark academia where there's kind of almost monologues in here of going into a fever dream of physics or literature or whatever the academia may be that they're exploring within here, I think you'll really enjoy this one. I think the tone overall was a lot lighter than I was expecting, but there are very dark themes in here. Obviously it is dark academia, so just be conscious of that and look at any trigger warnings before picking this one up. But I'd say if you liked Olivia Blake's The Atlas Six mixed with the tone of maybe Masters of Death, that's probably what you get when you're looking at this one. So if you like both those books separately, kind of merge them together, and I think this is the end result. I really love this. R.F. Kuang is one of my favourite authors. I've loved everything I've read by her, and this has just solidified that. So you may see this book again in this haul because I hadn't realised it was going to be in one of the boxes, but still really happy to have this copy because it's actually the signed Waterstones exclusive edition. It does have some sprayed edges there. Then it does have some cool papers as well. Not sure if these are on all of the editions, but these are on the Waterstones editions. It's just a plain hardback, but I actually really love the original cover anyway with the gold foiling. So still really happy to have this one, and really glad I ended up loving it because I'm going to have 2 copies at this point. But yeah, you'll see this one later in the video. There's actually a bit of a theme with this haul. A lot of these are books that I've actually already read, and another one of those would be Terror at the Gates by Scarlett Sinclair. I was really lucky to get an ARC of this one from NetGalley in, I think it was around June time. Read it and absolutely loved it. It's very different from some of the other stuff I've read from Scarlett Sinclair before. It was an urban fantasy and it had a lot of references to kind of religious trauma, about women being oppressed, and it was definitely very dark and gritty from the outset. And within this we're following Lilith, who is basically estranged from her powerful family within this very religious world. She's been on the other side of the kingdom for quite some time, living on her own, kind of making deals here and there to pay for herself, and one of the rival families within that world had always been very close to her family, and she's very close with the son from that family. You can guess where that's going to go. But yeah, I just really love the themes in here of kind of religious trauma, how that can affect people, how it can affect women in particular, and the ending of this was definitely not something I expected, so I'll be really highly anticipating the second book of this one whenever it's due to come out. God knows when that will be, but really loved this, really loved the writing in here. I would say if you've read from Scarlett Sinclair before, I don't think this was as spicy as her usual books would be, so that can either be a good thing or a bad thing for you. If you really like her for kind of her spice, then you may not like this one as much because it definitely doesn't delve into that as much as some of her other books. But if you're not a lover of spice and you've loved her writing before but maybe just not the books that you've read from her, then you may like this one a little bit more, because I do think that the spice level in this was a lot lower than what I read in her other books. But yeah, overall really loved this one. I had kind of put off getting a copy of this, but I really love the artwork on here. It's very almost like a movie or something like that. And then this one actually does have some foiling on the naked hardcover. So it's just got a really pretty design, and I really love the spine on this one. And then it's the same on the back. And then I really love this. The reversible dust jacket is actually a map of the world that they're living in, and I just think it's really cool. Really love the art in that, so that kind of tempted me to get a copy of this one because I do really like it and I really love the book, so I might as well have a copy to put on my shelf as a trophy. Next up, I ended up getting the US paperback editions of the All Souls trilogy, which is A Discovery of Witches, Shadow of Night, and The Book of Life, which is a series I've read, absolutely loved. I actually really got back into reading about 6 or 7 years ago from reading this series. I read the first book and basically since then I haven't stopped reading. I had the UK mass paperbacks and they were just really rigid, really hard to read, and I was just like, I'm never going to read from those. These are obviously quite floppy. I'll see if I can get them out of the box. They've just got a perfect flop on there, going to be really easy to read. You can hold them with one hand. Honestly, US paperbacks are elite when it comes to floppability. So decided to get these because I do want to reread this series at some point, and I just knew I would never read from the paperbacks that I had, so decided to invest in these. They weren't too expensive and I know I'll actually read from them, so my other copies can go to the library, and I actually just think these are prettier as well. They have much prettier covers, so really happy that I got my hands on these. So I'll just move these out of the way and then we can get on to the boxes. So the first one I have here is the FairyLoot box, and I get the book only subscription for the adult and the YA. It's a combo box. I keep saying I might get the Romantasy, but to be honest, I haven't really been there's been 1 or 2 books that I've liked out of that, and I could probably buy those secondhand off Vinted, so I'm going to hold off on that subscription for now. And first up we've got the YA pick, which is Immortal Consequences by Ivy Marie, and I've heard this is a really good autumn read. I think this is Dark Academia as well. Definitely giving those vibes off that cover. And I really like the colour combination that's on here as well. And then the sprayed edges just kind of continue that through. Really love the colour of this combination on here. So the light kind of purple with the black there. Hopefully you can see the design. Then it follows around on the back and there's a bit of a quote on there as well. Then the reversible dust jacket is just the standard cover, but I believe this is a different colourway. I think the usual one is a bit more purple than that one. And then yeah, going by these end papers, it's definitely giving that dark academia feel as well, especially this last one. You can kind of see some creepy things going on there, so definitely think this is going to be right up my alley. So as I say, from what I've heard about this one, I believe it is Dark Academia, and it just says, at a hidden academy on the edge of the afterlife, 6 students enter a high-stakes competition. With deadly ambition, tangled relationships and secret motives at play, the cost of winning may be worse than losing. So yeah, sounds like everything I basically love. Dark Academia, trials, competitions, probably secrets going on there. Heard some really good things about this one from people who had the ARC before this one came out, and I think this is one I'm definitely going to try and get my TBR over the next few months because I think it would be a perfect autumn read. Okay, and then next up for the FairyLoot box is the adult pick, which may look a bit familiar but just a little bit different, is Catabasis or Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. So obviously they've changed the colorway of the original cover. Then we do have these pretty sprayed edges as well. Then I really love the naked hardback of this. It definitely encompasses that dark academia feel. I just think it's going to be really pretty on my shelves. I think I may display this one naked. I do like the spine on this one as well. Not sure if you're able to see that at all, but it's really, really pretty. Then the reversible dust jacket on this one is just some character art, which is really cool. And then we do have some more character art on the end papers, which are different on both sides. And actually, having read this, I really love that character art. It's actually exactly how I envisaged them, so I think the artist has done a really good job with those. So yeah, currently trying to decide if I'm going to keep both of these, but to be honest, it's a 4.5 star read for me. It's one of my favourite authors, so I'm kind of justifying in my head having 2 copies of this one, so I think for the moment I'm definitely going to be keeping both, but we'll see. We'll see how things go. I may end up getting rid of one of them, but they're both really pretty. I think they both stand on their own, so for now I'm going to keep both editions that I've got this month. Okay, so now onto the Illumicrate boxes. Let me just see, I think... yeah, so this one's the subscription box for, I believe this was August's pick. And the book they picked for August is Voidwalker by S.A. McLean. So I'm not too sure what this one's about. I remember reading a synopsis ages ago because that's why I didn't skip it or anything. And it definitely looks like it's going to be a bit of a wintry read. So it may be a little while before I read this one. Then we've got the sprayed edges. Then the naked hardback does have some character art on there as well. And now that I'm looking at this, I think this is maybe a monster romance. I haven't read one of those before, so I'm not sure how this one will fare for me, but there's some more character art on the end pages and they're different on the back as well. So yeah, this one I don't know too much about. The synopsis is quite long, but it just seems like we've got kind of worlds that are on the brink of war, there's tensions that are building, and basically we have a main character who has always felt she had this power to walk through these invisible doors essentially. So guessing she's going to go through to a different world, guessing that's where she's going to meet the other character that we've seen in the character art, but that's all I really know about this one. I will be honest, I'm not a huge fan of this cover of this book. I don't think I would have been drawn to it had it not been in a box, but still definitely very interested in this one. I have seen a few people review this one and say it was really good, so definitely willing to give it a try, even though it doesn't seem like it would be within my comfort zone. But that's what I really love about the subscriptions. That's kind of the reason I keep them. It's always good to kind of get things that you maybe wouldn't have picked up before, because sometimes it could end up being a 5-star read. You can't always win them all, but sometimes you'll get something in your hands that you definitely wouldn't have looked at yourself, but end up being a favourite. So definitely be giving this one a try because, as I say, I've seen quite a few people really enjoy this one, but it looks like it may be a better wintry read, so probably be pushing this one off a little bit. Okay, so next up is technically another duplicate. I do have a copy of this book already, but I couldn't resist this one when I seen the design mock-up. And again, it's a book I've read, it's a book I gave 5 stars, so I have absolutely no regrets about this. The cellophane of this one, I haven't opened it yet, but this is the Illumicrate edition of Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab, and honestly, it's just absolutely stunning. It definitely looks like a collector's edition. The foiling on here is stunning. It's actually really bright in real life. And then obviously we have the naked hardback here with the character art, then more foiling on the spine, and then some quotes on the back. Then we've got the sprayed edges. There's some more art on the end papers, and again they're different on the back. And I read this one in a vlog a couple of months ago. It's basically if Addie LaRue had vampires, and essentially it's following 3 characters who are going through different things in their lives. They're all women. One, I think it's like the 1500s and the 1700s, then modern day, all kind of fighting their own versions of oppression within the world, wanting to break free from that, and watching just how they do that, with a sprinkle of a vampire element in here as well. And honestly, I just love this story. Very atmospheric. If you like Addie LaRue, I definitely think you'll like this. It's a much slower paced, you know, very character driven, very introspective, but definitely one of my favourite reads of the year. So I just had to get this edition. It's an absolutely stunning edition, and I cannot wait to put it on my shelves because I just think it's going to be so pretty. Okay, and then last up is my order from the Illumicrate sale. As I say, I ended up getting this half price, so really happy that I went on there to check what they had in the sale, because this is a series that I've really loved and really wanted to get my hands on these copies, but was hoping to get them cheaper, which I did. So the series that I got is actually the Bone Witch Trilogy by Rin Gepecho. I definitely think this is underrated, and this time of year is actually a perfect time to pick this one up. We're basically following this main character who basically discovers she has powers when she raises her brother from the dead, and Basically that means what she is a bone witch. These are kind of dark witches within these lands, quite revered but also feared within the land, and essentially she has to go off for some training to help manage her powers and understand them and be able to use them for good, obviously, going forward. And it is a YA series, but it does get very dark. There's very dark themes in here, and it's kind of told in a format where at the start of the story you realise that she has become the villain, but you're watching her go through that and kind of getting to that point by the end of the story. So I really loved it. I think the first book was a little bit of a slog to get through because there's quite a lot of world building in here. It's quite rich, but once you get past that first book, honestly, I just really loved it. It was so immersive, really atmospheric, and yeah, highly recommend it. So as you can tell, I really loved it. So really wanted to get my hands on these special editions. Now, when I ordered it, I didn't actually realise you get a few different little bookish items that are related to the series as well, because I thought it was just going to be the book. So I'll just go through some of those items first. So the first thing we got is a little silk scarf, which is kind of reminiscent of the series if you've read it. And I haven't actually opened this, so I'm not sure what it looks like, but I'll just open it now. Yeah, so it's just a little bit of a silk scarf, kind of like Chinese designs on there, kind of reminiscent of the series. I'm trying to see what the design is to see if I'm holding it in the right way. Can't quite work out if it's supposed to be a picture, but it's like a little silk scarf, which I don't know if I'll wear it, to be honest, but it might be nice around a handbag or something like that. It just feels really nice and it's quite pretty, and again, it's just kind of symbolic of the series as well. So as I say, I didn't know it was part of it, so it was a little bit of a surprise when we got the box. And then the next thing we got was a bookmark, which is kind of like a chain bookmark, and again, it's just reminiscent of some of the themes within the book. So it's kind of like all on one chain, and I'm guessing one side comes out of the book and the other side stays in there. But basically within this book, the witches that are there have these kind of almost amulets that are a certain colour depending on what type of witch they are, and that's basically just what this is depicting there. So that's really cute. I do enjoy that, and I'm not sure if I'll use it in a book because I do feel quite heavy, so I think you need to at least have a hardback to use this bookmark. But when I'm displaying the books, I may put this up with them just to kind of be reminiscent of the series. Then I just need to get the books out because I think the last item is at the bottom. Yeah, so the last thing is this art print of Tia, who is the main character there, and I just think this is really pretty, really lovely character art. And again, as I say, I didn't know I was getting these with the box, but definitely really happy to have these. I mean, I'm not sure if I would put this out. It's quite a big print, so again, I may display it with the books on my shelves if it fits. But yeah, some really beautiful art there, and really nice to see her kind of depicted like this. Before the main event, we've got the books, so let me just get these out of the bubble wrap. So pretty. I'm just trying to work out, I can't remember which book is book 2 and which is book 3. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. So first book in the series is The Bone Witch, and I just love this colour. It's kind of similar to the original cover for this series, and I love kind of the purple and gold combination on here, and it just follows the whole way round. Then we've got the sprayed edges on this one, and they follow on the top and bottom as well. Then the naked hardbacks are quite simple. They just have some quotes on there and the name on the spine. Then in the end papers here we have a map, and it's the same on the back. Then book 2 we've got the Heart Forger, so yeah, it kind of follows the same kind of method. We've got some red foiling on here that follows round. The sprayed edges, again, they go top and bottom, slightly different because they have the heart on there. Simple quote on the hardback, a little bit hard to see there, but it does have the red foiling and the spine. And then again, it just has the map on the end papers in a slightly different colourway. Then we've got the third book, The Shadow Glass, which is black and silver. And again, it just follows the same, slightly different sprayed edge on there, quote on the naked hardback, and then the map in the blue colourway. Then just to show you them all together, these are the sprayed edges, and these are the spines together. I really just love the spines. I love the simplicity of these. I don't think they're obviously the most elaborate of designs, but I just really love these editions. I do really love the normal paperbacks of these, but I did really enjoy this series, and actually may reread this one as well. As I said, it's very dark themes in there. It is YA, but you can definitely feel the dark and gritty themes in here, so autumn and winter time would be a perfect time to read this one. And yeah, I'm just really happy to finally have these in my hands, and as I say, I got them for half price, so it makes it even better. So that's it, that's everything I'm hauling this month. I mean, there's plenty here. I don't think I need any more to be hauled. We ended up with 14 books, but I will preface that with saying most of these are already read. Most of these are really highly rated reads by me, other than my subscription books that I haven't read yet, obviously, but even one of those I had read. I've read Catabasis, so in terms of buying books that I haven't read yet, or if I don't know if I'll enjoy, I think I've done pretty well this month, but where I'm putting these, I do not know. But yeah, really happy with all the additions to my shelves. I think a lot of these are going to look really stunning on my shelves. I am getting some new shelves to replace the shelves I have in my living room, so there might be a little bit more room for these, so maybe there'll be a bookshelf reorganisation coming soon. It's definitely going to be needed to fit these in, but Let me know if you've read any of these, let me know if you have any of these on your shelves as well, and let me know the last book you hauled. Tell me all of those good things down in the comments below. And if you don't have anything to comment, just put a little shopping bag for my shopping addiction and to let me know that you got to the end of the video. If you like this video, do remember to give it a like, and if you want to see more from me, remember to subscribe. I post 2 videos per week and it's videos like this, so book hauls, TBR jars, reading vlogs, all good bookish things like that. Other than that, thanks so much for watching this one. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one soon. Bye!